All right, everyone. Welcome back to our TEW playthrough during the territory days. So basically, we are building up to Lou Thesz' final match. I think that's one thing that'll be, as we look at our money situation, if I end up running this company into the ground, one thing we'll always have with our company is Lou Thesz' last match, which is 2 shows away. And we've had some new faces. We've gotten some new wrestlers in here. We have options like just people who could end up becoming our figurehead. I mean, we don't really have like a lot of star quality people, like Nick Kozak and Tony Bourne, yeah, right now we don't have a lot of people to be our figurehead, but we don't have a great option. I do have someone in mind, but I'm not gonna reveal it anytime soon because they're not ready yet. But we do have titles so far. We have the Canadian Classic, which is our most prestigious achievement so far. And it goes to the winner of an 8-man one-night tournament. For now, as our company grows, not anytime soon. Hopefully, we can become a 16-man tournament, all that. Long-term plans for the Canadian Classic. We have the World Heavyweight Championship, which is currently worn by Buddy Rogers. He won it in basically a who is world champion material. He won after blatantly cheating, but he kind of settled his feud with Lou Thesz. They both have built respect for each other despite Buddy Rogers cheating. And then we have our mid card title, which is currently held by Abdullah the Butcher. Won it fairly recently. Yada yada yada. But yeah, so basically, right now, enough of the preamble. Everything is heading in the right direction right now. We've built in some names who can be baby faces for us. We got a lot of really solid wrestlers in popularity. Let me just go to creative hidden gems, but enough about that. So, just here on our roster, they're like, oh yeah, push these guys. Next big things, hot prospects. I mean, yeah, we got Dusty Rhodes, Terry Funk, Roddy Piper, Pedro Morales. And 4 out of 5 of these guys, household names in the history of wrestling. Then here's Who Can Talk, Showstoppers, uh, Ring Generals, who's hot, um, yeah, who's not, all that. So, yeah, but basically, if you go to our roster, it's pretty good right now. I mean, we don't have like the star, but kind of realistic for the time, if I'm being honest. And then show history. So we've only had one missed show. We had our greatest show of all time because or tied for it. So still this one where Lou Thesz faced Carl von Bronner. That is still our greatest match in history. But I mean, you go through our show history. We had a bit of a miss here. This was a miss, but then we got right back to it with CFW Live, where Lou Thesz defeated Killer Kowalski in the main event and all that. So creatively, I think we're doing pretty well. Our attendance has gone up. If you look at our very first show, The Big Bang, only 136. Buddy Rogers, our 50 more people have wanted to see our show since The Big Bang. So, in general, the only thing is we're losing money. It's progressive. It is what it is. I'm wondering what's more expensive right now. Workers a little bit more, but what's gone up? Yeah, it's just I would say right now it's marketing, but we got to do what we got to do here in CFW, and that's what we can do. Hopefully, we eventually start making money. If we run our company into the ground, that's on me. We can always start a new series, but in terms of wrestling history, we're making our mark with Lou Thesz's last ever wrestling match. here, which we're building to. So everything's going up except marketing or except money. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see if we get to small, what'll happen there and all that. But essentially, that's it. So we're going to get into the show. We have two more shows before Lou Thesz's last match. Before I get to that, let me just go to events and TV. And because I I I'm only going to be allow myself to do one season finale per year. I think realistically, our season finale should be like, oh, this has been building. This has been building. I only get one per year, and unfortunately, with only 9 months left, with 9 whole months left, Lou Thesz's last match is going to be here, and it's gonna just to try to boost it up because realistically, it's going to be hard to top Lou Thesz's last match in attendance. It's going to be all that. So basically, we're building up to that. Our hour and a half special. It's going to be our season finale. And yeah, without further ado, I will continue to book the shows and everything, and we can go from there. So sit tight for our next edition of CFW Live, where we introduced some new faces. Buddy Rogers has a bit of a rival, all that. Alrighty, everyone. Welcome to another uh, rookie showcase, once again between Roddy Piper and Terry Funk. Pre-show match and everything. So, solid match once again. Just two great workers working together to boost each other's popularity. Hopefully, get on the main show of CFW Live because we could use boosting the popularity of Roddy Piper and/or Terry Funk on our main show. They'd help a lot. Next up, we open the show with first time ever. We're having to open with cameras backstage as Thor Hagen and Abdullah the Butcher are in a brawl. Tensions clearly, these guys can't even handle being in the backstage area together. So this could lead to something very special. We'll find out a very special stipulation because maybe a normal match can't contain them. We'll find out next week for next week's edition of CFW Live. And in our opening match, uh, Tony Bourne defeats Mike York in 3 minutes with Buddy Rogers at ringside to watch, taking an interest, just calling Tony Bourne a no nonsense. Him coming after me is nonsense. He doesn't stand a chance. And then he just watched Tony Bourne win a match in 3 minutes. That's got to be a record in CFW history. 3 minutes this match lasted. Next up, in another solid match, Gorgeous George Jr. defeated Joe Brunetti, and then Rocky Johnson gets some revenge on Toast. Beats him down more than just a single strike, basically saying, all right, you want to go? We can go. Next up, in a 52, Lou Thesz defeated Carl von Steiger by 13:09 with the Lou Thesz press. Lou Thesz, once again, continuing his retirement tour, getting a win over Carl von Steiger. Definitely, it's Lou Thesz is the greatest of all time. It's been said a lot in the history of CFW in our short history, 2 months and a half, and he's showing it again tonight. You got to give props to Lou Thesz here. And, not all. This time, Nick Kozak. Nick Kozak comes down to the ring, and Nick Kozak basically says, look, Lou Thesz, I love and respect everything you've done for the business. I watched you at commentary to learn from you in your match against Killer Kowalski, and you beat Killer Kowalski. I don't know if I have what it takes to beat Killer Kowalski, and it would be an honor and a privilege to learn from the best. And Lou, you are the best. What do you say? Lou Thesz basically says, I accept. I have a lot of respect for you. You've done a lot in the business as well. I know not as much as me, but you've done a lot. And it would be an honor and a privilege to have you, Nick Kozak, be my final opponent. And there you have it, everyone. Lou Thesz's final opponent in 2 weeks' time will indeed be Nick Kozak. So let's finish the show here, see how we do. I think the angles were a little bit better. 50, solid show. I will take it. We have a 50. You know, yeah, we'll see where that leads with next week. So, but all right, everyone, stay tuned because we have one more show for this episode, and then of course it is on to the retirement of Lou Thesz. All right, everyone. Before I book this coming week's show, just some good news. Looking at the finance, we're still bleeding money and not making a lot back. But the good news is we have gained about $500 worth of what do you call it money here. So yeah, even though we're still probably going to get down to 8,000, hopefully we can get down to 31, and hopefully the money kind of progresses annually. But all that remains to be seen so far. But yeah, it looks like we're heading in the right direction. Hopefully, we can kind of put on good shows to build that up. But just some minor good news for the Canadian Federation of Wrestling. All right, everyone. Welcome back. And wow, honestly, probably should have been on the main show with a 48. You're going to hit me with a 48 on the pre show, Pedro. Yeah, Pedro and Jimmy put on a solid match here on our rookie showcase. And yeah, the just best pre-show match in our company's history. Next up to begin the show and what should have been a pre-show match. But they're not rookies, so not a rookie show. Angelo Poffo cheats to beat the debuting Woody Farmer. Of course, this is his second match, and unfortunately, Woody Farmer does get the loss, but still looks strong in defeat. As next up, a lot of storylines going on here. Very few segments in the future. Just really wanting to build some of that. So, yeah, solid match here. 53, one of the best matches in our history. Thor Hagen and Rocky Johnson defeated Abdul the Butcher and Gorgeous George. Thor Hagen submitted Gorgeous. Submit, really? With a reversed slep over toe hold? All right, so there you have it. So yeah, Thor Hagen submits Gorgeous George with a reverse toe hold, step over toe hold. But yeah, next up. So despite the talking, so this was probably like, oh my god, these guys are talking. But we have to establish the stipulation. So Thor Hagen basically says, you know what? We've been brawling forever. I've won the Canadian Heavyweight Championship. You've won the Canadian Heavyweight Championship. Let's settle this in a no disqualification match. Really see, I'm not going to fight you right now. I'd love to fight you, but let's truly see let's truly end this viciousness. It has to end. Abdul the Butcher agrees because he can make Thor Hagen bloody one last time. So there you go for the undercard, the semi-main of Lou Thesz's final match versus Nick Kozak. It will be Thor Hagen versus Abdul the Butcher. Next up, we have Buddy Rogers. He comes down to the ring. He starts talking crap. But Tony Bourne, does the same thing. He comes out. He's like, look, I squashed one in 3 minutes, set a record. I'm the one worthy to face you. Buddy Rogers does not agree, but they do come to an agreement. If Tony Bourne can beat the opponent of Buddy Rogers' choosing in the undercard for Lou Thesz's final match, Tony Bourne gets a title shot. So there you go, everyone. We have our last two matches here for Lou Thesz's final match, the three main matches. That's kind of how we're going to structure things. And yeah, next up we have our main event 56, best match in our company's history, I think, with that one, or tied for it, or up there. And a match that fantastic. They went for 17 minutes. Killer Kowalski submits Jerry Kozak. Once again, Killer Kowalski having the number of the Kozaks and Lou Thesz. I didn't really think it needed to be added a segment to it, but after the loss, Lou Thesz looks very pissed at the Kozak brothers. He's just kind of like, "Are you kidding me?" They cannot get over Killer Kowalski. So It will be interesting. It'll be Nick Kozak versus Lou Thesz in Lou Thesz's final match, and Lou Thesz is definitely very angry at the Kozak brothers. Definitely won't take it easy on Nick Kozak heading into his final match. All right, that's it. 54, solid go home show. I think our yeah, the main event kind of carried. Well, we had two tag matches featuring some of our biggest stars, so it was a little bit of cheating. Hopefully, the main show can follow it up, but you want to go home show, that's the way to do it. All right, everyone, and that does it for this edition of what do you call it? Of CFW TEW 2020 in the territory days. We're really building up here. This is definitely going to be, we're heading to a climax. I do like the fact that we got, even though a couple of them could be ending, I do like the fact that we got enough storylines to carry a whole show. Definitely really are helping with building this show from the ground up. So really enjoy it. Really love doing this, even though the views aren't really translating. But it is what it is. I'm definitely having fun here. So if it gets to the point where I only get one view for video, I appreciate you, my dear viewer. And this is your promotion too. The idea was to build it together. So you got any ideas on storylines or anything like that, just comment below. Of course, I am broadcasting it like you guys are just fans of the promotion, but it is what it is, everyone. So I'll see you guys for the next edition for what will be Lou Thesz's final match.